We're now going to finish posting our company's data and start searching for leads. In the previous section, we talked about how to post your company's products and services to the system using SIC codes. We're now going to talk about how to post your company's needs. Not surprisingly, I can use the same method to post my company's needs as I use to post its products and services. I get there by clicking on the Needs link under the Post Update button, indicated by the yellow arrow, which brings me to a form that's very similar to the one that I use to post my company's products and services. In this case, we recommend that if you don't know what your company buys, you might want to enlist the help of your company's owner, CFO, or purchasing manager, but you can probably enter many things that you already know about right now. Ultimately, most companies will have a general ledger or a P&L that lists all the things they spend money on, that is, that they need and buy. That can be used as a quick way to populate the data. Posting something in the needs area of the database doesn't necessarily mean, by the way, that you need to currently be in the market for anything on that list. But the question is, if someone came along who had a truly compelling offer, wouldn't you want to consider it? Likewise, if there was a faster, better, or less expensive option or a vendor who could save you enough money, putting this information on the system is the easiest way for them to find you. And of course, doing so is a requirement for letting your salespeople search for leads, so it's worth it to do it now and to do it right. Anyway, posting your company's needs is done exactly the same way as posting its products and services, using SIC codes that you can find either with the drill down method, the text search method, or this select SIC method. In the interest of time, I've skipped the step of showing you how to check things off again, and let's just jump to a screenshot of a complete posting of our company's needs. As you can see, our company buys a lot of things, including internet services, telephone service, insurance, banking services, gasoline, office supplies, labor, and dozens of other commodities and services. To be sure, if a vendor came along with a faster, better, or less expensive solution, we would certainly be wise to entertain it. And we can do that with the lead generator in far less time and with far less effort or cost than you could ever do offline. Okay, so let's jump to the next data element, the organization chart. But before we get into how to post the data, let's start with a question. Would you be willing to post your organization chart in order to get access to other companies' organization charts? If you're in sales, I assume that the answer is easy. Of course, it's incredibly hard to identify decision makers. Purchase lists are notoriously inaccurate, if they have any names at all, and they're always out of date. Gatekeepers are instructed not to give out names, so finding out who to call is an extremely time-consuming, expensive, and inefficient part of the job. But it's got to be done. So let's call a spade a spade. How can a company expect its salespeople to find out who the decision makers are among their prospects when they won't make that information available to their potential vendors? It's like a company that expects its salespeople to make cold calls, but they put a no soliciting sign on their door. It's just hypocritical. On the other hand, what the lead generator does is it offers you a grand bargain of sorts. It basically says, if you show me yours, I'll show you mine. If you post your organization chart, you can have access to other companies' organization charts, which is what you need. It's that simple. Think about the economics of such a trade. What would it cost you to find out who the decision makers are at any given prospect? We do this sort of thing for a living, and I have to say it's typically hundreds of dollars per company, and sometimes it's almost impossible to do. But if you post your organization chart on the lead generator, which costs you almost nothing, you can get access to other organization charts virtually for free. Is it worth it? Before you decide, though, you might be thinking that letting such information out would put you into some sort of competitive disadvantage or risk your employees being poached. But do your competitors really care about your organization chart? And of course, poaching works both ways. Considering the cost, that is almost nothing, of posting the data against the value, which is astronomical, of getting access to your prospects' organization charts, most companies find it to be a no-brainer. To post your organization chart, click on the organization chart under the Post Update button. This brings up a blank form where you can enter your organization chart. It's easiest to start with the president or CEO of your company and then populate the organizations underneath that person. To do that, you simply fill in the fields that you want to populate, such as their name, title, phone number, and email address. Note that you don't have to put all the contact information in, although you will limit what you can see from other people. Once you've entered the person, click on Create to save the record. When you want to enter a subordinate, simply highlight the boss's entry and enter the subordinate's data, clicking Create when it's done. This is what a typical chart will look like when it has two people on it. And this is a more complete version. Remember, you can edit the entries at any time, and you don't have to publish the contact data if you don't want to. but posting your company's organization chart can save you literally thousands of dollars a month. Next, we're going to very briefly talk about the leads area of the database. The leads table is an area of the database that has what we refer to as free text leads. These are pieces of information that the users post that are basically opportunities for other people to make money. That is, they are simply opportunities that users know about either at their own company or elsewhere where another user might be able to make a sale. So first of all, why would anyone want to post a lead like this? Well, the obvious answer is that by doing so, assuming it's a good lead, and you should understand that this type of information, like other data that you post, is being subject to being rated by other users, it will gain you access to the leads area of the database so you can search for leads that might be appropriate for you. The second reason is that very often leads are posted by users who are trying to sell something or do something that relies on some third party making a sale. For example, you might be in the business of doing sales training, but your client doesn't want to move forward with the program until and unless they have a contact management system implemented. This is a perfect opportunity for you as the salesperson for the training company to leverage that information and even potentially bundle the offering and increase your margin. Or maybe you sell a manufactured product that requires an installer or an electrician. This is extremely valuable information for the installer or electrician that costs you nothing to acquire or post, but that you can leverage to create opportunities for yourself. Over time, we have seen that this area of the database has produced some of the greatest sales for its users. Anyway, in the example here, which happens to be a real lead, I've posted that a client of ours is looking to hire 6 new salespeople. Even though I'm not doing placement or recruiting, it's to my advantage to see that my client gets these new hires, because we do telemarketing for them. And if he doesn't have salespeople, there's no one for us to make appointments for. So I posted the lead, and hopefully someone will be able to help. By the way, posting ads and blogs work the same way. They're entered as free text that can be searched using any keywords you want, and of course blogs can be followed. The last area that we're going to talk about is posting data, is uploading your contact list, which you can do by clicking on the referrals link under My Info. Note that, unlike other areas of the database, the purpose of uploading your contact list is not to get you access to other users' contact lists. Not directly anyway. We don't publish this data. Rather, if you upload your contacts, it will be used for only one thing. We will use it to invite people to use the lead generator, keeping in mind that the more users there are on the lead generator, the more leads there are for you. Therefore, if you can provide email addresses that we can use to promote the system, it's very much to your advantage. Understand that, while the default invitation is anonymous, the CAN-SPAM Act requires that you have a legitimate relationship with the person to allow us to invite them to join. You should also screen the list for people who might have no use whatsoever for the lead generator, although we can't imagine who that would be, considering what it can do. Anyway, if you upload your address book, you may be entitled to discounts or other benefits that are discussed elsewhere on the site. You can upload your address book from a variety of sources, including Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, a Mac, or even plain text or a CSV file. Just follow the instructions on the screen to upload it. Once it uploads, you can edit it and remove any entries that you don't want. And you can switch any entry to a referral rather than a default anonymous invitation. This pretty much sums up the registration process and postings that you need to do to get into the system. You can review them at any time by clicking on the quick reference link under the help button. Note that you don't have to enter all of them at once, but the sooner you do, the sooner you'll be able to search for leads. And remember, the more you post, the more active you are on the system, the more leads you'll get. Now it's time to start searching for leads. For that, go ahead and click onto the next presentation.